Okay, so we're going to do the second row, and I have part of this already done, but I'm going to show you right here, and we're going to put a second layer of small slabs on there. Okay, so I have the inside of this scored and slipped, okay, because I want to attach these pieces to it, and I've got some slip. I'm going to go ahead and dot this on so we don't erase the scoring that we have underneath. Okay, so same thing on all of these. Okay, and so I'm going to do that on this part as well and dot the back of this so I'm ready to put these on. Okay, so lots of times we are so focused on the inside of the pot that we put pieces on and we look at it this direction. Okay, so we're putting it on and looking at them over here. I think it's almost better to flip this around and look at it from the outside, because the outside is what you're actually going to see. Okay, and so when I put these on, I've scored and slipped these in a V in this section, and so I'm leaving the center of this free of the scratches or the scoring. Okay, and so what this does for me is this allows me to hide all of that behind the two small slabs before it. Okay, and you can see that I'm putting this in the center. Okay, and so we're stacking these like bricks, okay, because this is going to be stronger putting this section in the middle of it rather than stacking them up like columns. Okay, if you stack them like columns, you're going to have them fall down. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the center. What this does allow me is let me kind of twist or move these to like cover up those scoring marks. Okay, and I'm pressing from the inside to make sure that they're attached. Okay, so same thing, it's going to go in the center of those. And I'm pressing and looking at the outside. Okay, and that ends pretty well right there. Now, it's not perfect. I've got lots of scoring, at least on a few of these. I can see that one. I've got some extra slip, and that's not a bad thing. Using your cup of water that you have, you can use this like a little sponge and just paint inside here, and it will smooth all of those out like with very little effort. Okay, so it will make that look a lot better. This works just like a little sponge to help alleviate some of those places in the creases that you can't get a big sponge in. Okay, and you can't get your finger in there because your finger's too big. So this is a nice way to kind of clean things up and to smooth things out and to make them look better. Okay, so now we're going to look at the second row and beyond, or the third row and beyond. So I'm going to start just like I did before with a bigger piece of clay, squish this in my hand so it's round, roll it to start it, and then put it on the table. Okay, again, make sure that you give yourself enough room to actually roll and make that round. So I'm going to make just a few so we can kind of talk about good and bad things that can happen from here on out and things that you want to avoid. We're trying to make this pot taller. We're not trying to make it thicker. And so I'm going to show you what happens to a lot of people that ends up making them do twice as much work as the person next to them. Okay, so I have all these pieces. I would score and slip like a V. Like I talked about, we would continue to do that, but I don't need to trim anything. Okay, I don't need to cut these off. I don't need another coil. Okay, we only needed one reinforcing coil. So let me score and slip a few of these just so I have them ready. And then again, you would score and slip the inside of this as well, because you are wanting these pieces to be attached. Okay, So let me grab this. I still think it's easier to do one direction and then the other. Whoops, but that's just me. Kind of do a bigger section. Okay, so you would do this all the way around. Since this is going to get bigger, we're going to need more pieces as well. Okay, so I'm just going to do half of this and work on half. But you would go ahead and do the rest of this. And I guess I didn't cover, you would be, after you got that second row done, you would be blending these. Okay, so you would be supporting the back and blending the inside, because this is going to increase the strength of it, the blending, and it's going to make sure you don't have any holes. Okay, so you would blend and make sure that you don't see those small slabs anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces on. This is for, like I said, the third row and beyond. So I'm going to dot some slip on here and put some slip on these. And again, I'm going to look on the outside of the pot rather than the inside, because then I'm going to have a better idea of where these need to go. Okay, so I've got some of those. So I'm going to look at the outside. I'm going to flip these over and put these in because I've got that side scored and slipped. So I'm going to put these on right in the center. Okay, and continue to do this. And you can see how high this pot already is, okay, with 3 of these. And so what I have sometimes, and I'm going to show you this on the other side, I have some people who will want to put these and barely poke them over the edge, okay? So they'll look like this. Okay, do you see those? Like right over. Okay, so what happens is this side, they're so focused on the inside of the pot that this wall grows in instead of up. Okay, and it grows up a little bit, but not very much. Look at this. This one is like the same height as those. Okay, but this person used twice as many. Okay, they had to use 2 of those pieces where this person only used 1. Okay, well, and I'm saying, you know, left and right. But do yourself a favor, make sure you're looking on the outside and raise them up as high as you can, because you're going to make less of them and it will take you less time. Okay, and it'll look better. Okay, so you don't want to have them like this. You want to have them like that. Okay, and then you do have to avoid, when I say press, you can't press so much that you smash these together, okay? And smashing them together means you can't feel the difference between one and the other. So like when you have them on top of each other, you can see that this one is thicker. And you see that right there? And you could feel that difference, okay? Some people, they press so much, the only way that you can, I mean, those are like flat, okay? There's no thickness to them. And so when you glaze this, lots of times this gets covered up, okay? You won't see them. The reason that you need this is so the glaze will puddle in the creases, flow off of the high places, okay? And lots of glazes look different when they do that because they're a different color when they're thicker versus when they're thinner. And so there is a reason why I'm saying don't smash them, okay? And that is why, because I want the glaze to look as nice as it can on your project, okay? So just be careful that you don't smash when you pinch, that you're pushing them together so much that they disappear, okay? And this is something that you will get better at, you know what I mean, as you work on this, okay? So we're talking about why this is bad, right? To have them raised up so short, right? You want to make use of all of the space. The other thing that we're doing with the third layer is starting to change the shape of this. If you look at the side, we're trying to get a profile. Okay, what does the outside shape of this pot look like? Okay, you think of your profile, if you looked at the side of you where your nose comes down and your mouth and your chin, that's a profile, okay? This is the outside shape. What do you want the outside shape to look like? And so for this, we're gonna start leaning these out, okay? And as you do that, let me go ahead and do one more row so you can really see. The fourth row is gonna show you this a little bit better. And I've got some pieces ready. They might not be as pretty, but so that will go there and here. I've got two more here, and we'll do one over here, even though I don't have the lower one. So you can see from that that this is starting to open up, okay? And it won't be something that you see right away because it might only be 1/2 inch different in diameter the first row, you know, and then it's another 1/2 inch. So then you'll start to see the difference, okay? But you can see that we're looking to change the shape of this so we can have a different shape and not just a cylinder, okay? A cylinder's pretty boring, lacks a lot of pizzazz like these would. Okay, so that's what we're going to do from here on out, doing the second row, making sure that you put them in the middle, making sure that you raise them up high, and then thinking about how much these should angle out so you can start to make the profile. Okay, you would continue to every row blend the inside, okay, to make sure that it's nice and sealed up, okay, and what else? We're scoring and slipping using the paintbrush to like run around and clean up the edge. You do not want to use a pencil and carve around these. Okay, that will completely change the look of it, and trust me, you won't be happy. Okay, it won't look good. Make sure your name is on the bottom because these do look similar in the beginning. We don't want to smash them, so we flatten all the coils or the small slabs. And gosh, feel like there's something else. Maybe not. So we're going to go ahead and continue to work on this. Let me know if you have questions and I will be over to help.